Welcome to Yorbl's webinar. Let's get ready to Yorbl, how Yorbl is changing the face of TECS. Introducing Peter Reed-Forrester, founder and CEO of Yorbl. Without further ado, let's get going.
So this session is the first of what will be a series of webinars which are all about Yorbl, what we do, how we do it, and the various products we have. The following seminars over the next few weeks and months will go into far greater depth about our products and services. So if you see anything you're particularly interested in terms of the products, obviously feel free to contact us straight away after this webinar, but also keep an eye out for upcoming webinars over the next few weeks and months. So let's get ready to Yorbl. It's all about who we are, where we come from a little bit, and what it is all about. What's all the industry where we're actually working in. Now, there's some pretty telling pictures you'll see in front of you there, and I think you're probably wondering why we put those up there. If you look at the little bin down in the bottom, the past, that'll all come to fruition in a little while. To me, there's a couple of particularly telling pictures up here. The first is the older gentleman up in the top left-hand corner. The actual tagline on that picture when I found it was a depressed older person, and I think the image of telecare, the fact that it appears to be a major badge of infirmity. People regard it as a badge of infirmity. They regard telecare devices as devices that once they've got one, they're being essentially consigned to the scrap heap. We believe that whole image has got to change, but it's not just the image, it's everything behind the image. And there's a few you will see there, images of, and yes, they are some of our competitors' equipment. I think the most telling one is with the guy lying down on the floor. To be blunt, I don't know if he's unconscious, dead or what, but it's quite a frightening image, and I think it's quite an unnecessary one. Effectively, telecare, that's the image it has. That's the way it looks to people. When do you ever see an advert for telecare on TV? How do you advertise something that has such negative connotations? And our belief is that they've got to go. The whole telecare image has got to change, and change for the better. And to achieve that, we've got to really consign the technology, the analog technology, and the analog mentality that comes with it to the past, which is essentially exactly what we're intending to. That's what we're about. We're going to get rid of it all, because we believe fundamentally it's not just about technology-enabled care. It's got to be about technology-enabled living. And when we built Yorbl, when we designed Yorbl, a number of things that you'll learn about during this webinar, but from the ground up, we decided the whole image had to change. It's not what we wanted to be about. We wanted to be about people enjoying getting older, people being healthy, being independent, smiling, not being miserable about it. And therefore, we believe that the technology that supports them is there to support that happy life, support that independent life, not just there to take care when something goes wrong. So to us, it's all about, as we call it, the Yorbl effect. It's about making people more active, more independent, happier, enjoying their lives, looking forward to getting older, and actually seeing the absolute benefit in digital health and care technology, that it's there to actually support their lives and support making their lives more independent and better. So let's look at our ethos, our approach. How do we actually go about doing this? First for us is staying true to the values we've always had as an organisation. We come from a long background of being involved in providing connectivity and other solutions to social housing, supported living and care. We've been involved in that marketplace for a long time now. And our core values have stayed with us throughout. Honesty and openness is an absolute must. We are and always will be and always have been as open and as honest in our dealings with customers and anybody, suppliers, partners, as honest and open as we possibly can be. Obviously, there's times where you have to protect commercially sensitive information, but other than that, there's no reason, and we don't believe there's any reason not to be fully and openly and honest and open at all times. Inclusivity and equality are values that are very, very important to us as an organisation. And this ranges across, it's everything. It's not just about equality of gender. It's not just about equality of race, religion. It's every aspect of equality and inclusivity. And one that's actually especially important to us is digital inclusion, which has a direct impact on TECS and on the progress of technology-enabled care. Our pedigree is long and substantial. We actually invented the going all-inclusive digital inclusion methodology. We designed the original hierarchy of digital inclusion. And for those of you who've looked at my personal LinkedIn page, you'll see that there's an awful lot of work that's been done in that area with central government, regional governments, all over the place. And it's a subject that's very, very close to our hearts. High quality and fairly priced products and services. We strive to keep a balance. We have to have high quality. We demand high quality, but we also realise that we have to give value for money. To be fair, sometimes you're going to find us a little bit more expensive in certain areas, but you can be safe in the knowledge you know you're getting the highest quality product or service and you're getting it the best possible value that we can give it to you. Contributing to the community is also a core part of our ethos. We believe as an organisation that there's nothing wrong with generating revenue, nothing wrong with generating profit as long as you do it in an honest, honourable and contributive fashion. So we like to think that the products and the services that we develop and deliver actually bring benefit to the communities that we work with, but we also look at how else we can contribute to the community. So, for example, I myself am a STEM ambassador and work with schools and colleges on promoting STEM subjects. That's just an example of some of the work we do. But as an organisation, we strive, every community we get involved with, we strive to be involved somewhere along the line in terms of contributing to it. Technology for good is a huge thing for us. It's a core belief I personally have as CEO and founder, but it's a belief that I can honestly say all of the staff within Yorbl have. If you can't develop technology that's going to do some good, then don't develop it. It's as simple as that. Collaboration, not protectionism. I think one of the big issues in the telecare industry at this time is that there's a lot of traditional players who are doing everything they can to protect their market in the face of burgeoning innovation and burgeoning competition, particularly around the analog to digital changeover. Essentially, if you talk to the TSAs, I'm sure many of you are very aware of the TSA involved. Interoperability is a huge drive for them. For us too, we absolutely believe that we're not going to be able to achieve all the things we want to achieve on our own, and therefore collaboration will always be, openness and collaboration will always be part of our ethos, not just in words but in practice too. At the end of the day, everything we do is about improving lives, and everything we do goes through a checklist across my desk to see if what we're doing is actually doing something to improve somebody's life somewhere. When we're involved in technology-enabled care, digital health, everything we're doing is about improving people's lives, and therefore it has to be and always will be a core part of our ethos. So how do we approach these things, and how are we approaching technology-enabled care? Well, as you can see from the funky lady on the screen, we have a strong belief, and we've talked about the image in hearts and minds. We need to change the image, and it's not just changing the image for commissioners and purchasers and service providers. We believe the image needs to change for the end user, the people who are actually using the telecare equipment. We need them to believe that this is technology for good. This is technology that's going to enhance their lives. So we look at the way we develop it. We look at how it looks. We don't want them to be these traditional ugly boxes with red buttons on. We don't want them to be badges of infirmity, big old red buttons that hang around people's necks. We want our equipment and our solutions to be aspirational. And hopefully you'll see some of that going forward. We have a digital first approach. Everything we do and always have done is digital. We've never, ever been an analog organisation. It just doesn't compute for us, I suppose. And we've never had to be and never will be. So we don't have a legacy mindset anywhere in our organisation. We don't have to contend with the baggage that comes from a whole range of legacy products, legacy services, legacy solutions. We don't have to worry about that because everything we're doing is digital and modern from the ground up. Innovation has always been core to everything we do. It's the very nature of what we do to innovate, and it always will be. We try very hard within the organisation to foster that innovative spirit, and we're being successful at it. And hopefully you'll see from some of the solutions that I'm going to show you today just how successful we've been. We believe everything is connected, and therefore, and this is going back to and touching on collaboration as well, everything needs to be open and interoperable. We're huge believers in the Internet of Things. We're huge believers in what we call digital ecosystems, so much so that we've built our own digital ecosystem that can be deployed within everything from a major supported living scheme through to independent living environments. It's all about that those connected devices, connected services, because everything really boils down now and going forward. Data is such a huge part of this. So we've been working hard and are working hard to develop what we call the Yorbl Cloud. It's all about data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. It's about how we use the data, that sensors, that devices that people bring us, and how we can use that to predict things, to give warnings, to reduce resource, to increase efficiency. There's so many opportunities from going digital. It would take me days to go through them all. And we believe that unless you, as organisations, as purchasers, as commissioners, unless you really go and take the dive and go truly digital, rather than just getting a supposedly digital version of an old analog solution, unless you embrace digital completely within technology-enabled care, you'll be cutting yourself off from a huge range of benefits. And happy to talk about those at length with any of you at any time. We're part of the Microsoft Health Programme. We've also just been invited to join a major health tech accelerator with Surrey University and the Kent and Surrey NHS trusts. Basically, that whole accelerator is about driving the data side, what we're doing, how our telecare devices, our dispersed alarm solutions, are much more than that they're a window into the lives of the people who use them, and the data that can be gathered from that can help make those lives better, but also help make social services and health services so much more efficient and cost effective. All of our solutions, you'd be happy to know, are highly secure. One of the reasons we chose the Microsoft Cloud is that it's probably the most secure data store out there at the moment. And everything is fully GDPR compliant. When you're talking about this type of data, about health data, there's a range of things you need to look at with health data, about, most importantly, when it's somebody's individual personal health data, But also you have to look at things like anonymizing data, population level data, and there's a whole range of security issues and GDPR issues around that. And I can confidently say that both from a security and GDPR viewpoint, we're utterly compliant. So let's go forward now and start to have a little look at Yorbl in terms of our products and services that we're currently launching and currently trialing. We have a range of core offerings. They start at our baseline version of Yorbl, which is Yorbl Lifeline. Yorbl Lifeline was brought into being because we know that many organisations out there and commissioners and service providers out there are in a race to get digital solutions deployed in time for the 2025 switch off. We also know that budgets are severely curtailed. It's all happening at a time where it's a perfect storm, basically. So Yorbl Lifeline, we decided to create a subset of Vita, which we'll go on to now, that provides a basic dispersed alarm solution, but with some additional capabilities, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. Yorbl Vita is our, if you like, our flagship product, highly functional, highly feature rich. Again, based on Android, software based. None of this is hardware based. We have global relationships now in place with Lenovo for Android tablet devices, Nokia for Android smartphone devices, and AccuVox for community living devices. Yorbl Tab is our seniors Android tablet solution. We realised, and this really comes from our digital inclusion background, that getting many seniors to engage and take advantage of digital technology can be difficult, particularly when they find it sometimes very difficult to understand. So what we've done is we've taken a standard tablet, we've turned it into a completely cloud managed and monitored device, the same as all of our devices, solutions, and created a completely new user interface that is very, very senior friendly, very, very customizable, and we can work with you and your clients to produce a solution from that suits your particular environment. Yorbl Hub is a community living solution. It's based, as I said earlier, on the AccuVox hardware. It's an Android solution. It provides everything you would expect in a community environment in terms of security, door entry, digital warden call, etc., but also with full built-in telecare capability. Wearables are obviously a huge part of what we've got to do. So we have a growing range of wearables. We're assessing new wearables all the time. We don't have and don't manufacture any of our own. We are constantly, as I said, we're very interoperable, we're very open, so we're constantly looking at new solutions in terms of wearables that will help support what the services that we're trying to deliver. The Yorbl Sensor Pack, we have a growing range of sensors that monitor all types of activity and environmental statuses. We're looking at, for example, fall detectors, we're looking at movement detectors, we're looking at temperature monitors, we're looking at moisture, air pressure monitors, we're looking at smoke detectors, we're looking at smart plugs, a whole range of sensors. And again, we're constantly looking at the new options day by day. Finally is Yorbl Analytics. What you see on the screen there, and we'll see in a moment, is a very early version of the analytics dashboard that will be coming with all of our Yorbl products. So we'll go first to Yorbl Lifeline. Very aggressively priced, easy to deploy. At the moment, the pricing is looking like being $19.50 plus VAT per month. That $19.50 comes with includes the fall detector unit that you see in front of you what we call Yorbl Amica Basic. It also includes the full ARC service as well. It is built on the same reliable and very robust Android platform that all of Yorbl's solutions are built on, which gives us a unique ability to update, improve, enhance over the air at the drop of a hat. We don't suffer from any of the issues that manufactured boxes suffered from in terms of updates and change. Full Wi-Fi internet connectivity with mobile SIM and obviously battery backup. It's designed to be left plugged in. Our solution takes over all functionality of the mobile phone, completely locks it down to give you that solution. So not only has it got the Get Help button, it's also got an I'm OK solution as well, fully TECS standards, British standards compliant as well. So that's Yorbl Lifeline. Yorbl Vita, as I said, it's our flagship dispersed alarm system. It's built on the Lenovo based. We offer it with a Lenovo 8-inch and 10-inch tablets. Eventually, both Lifeline and Vita will be available as on any Android device, but that's a while down the road for us. Again, full Wi-Fi connection, full mobile SIM backup should Wi-Fi become unavailable. Full touchscreen, voice control, designed to be permanently powered as normal. Comes with its own case and docking station, charger and stand. And obviously, as it's an Lenovo Android tablet, it's got full battery backup. It can support up to 4 Yorbl Amica wearables at any one time. So, fantastic, for example, for a husband and wife scenario. The additional functionality there can be configured on the scheme's needs, including messaging, voice, video calling. So there's a whole range of customizable and configurable solutions we can actually provide, right down to branding. We can initiate and receive remote medical appointments using Visionable, and we're also looking at other collaborations, particularly in Scotland, on that side of things, and can support the full range of and growing range of Yorbl sensors for home environment. For it's both activity monitoring, behavioural monitoring, and health monitoring. Yorbl Tab, as we said, does everything Yorbl Vita can do, with a whole range of additional functionality. So now this device can be picked up off that stand. It can be used as a portable tablet. The web browser is in there for full web surfing, messaging, video chat, and social media apps. Everything that you would expect on a normal tablet, but delivered in a way that's very easy to use and very understandable for seniors. Other functionality, for example, is reminders for medication, events. If you're using this in assisted or supported living schemes, it can tie in with communal functionality like message boards, notice boards, etc. And it's intended that Yorbl Tab capability will actually extend up to a 60-inch Android device. So this could actually be deployed in a customized basis as a TV screen in a community lounge, or a smaller notice board, the electronic notice board, all linked in the hallways, etc. of a community living environment. One of the biggest things about this is designed to combat digital inclusion or digital exclusion. It's designed to combat isolation, and it's designed to work for people who are not tech savvy. It's a very powerful product, and hopefully will get the attention it deserves going forward. Yorbl Hub, this is a wall-mounted community living system. So as you can see from the screen there, it's got everything you would need. It's totally connected in with the whole digital ecosystem that I mentioned earlier. So internal security, door entry, CCTV, fire systems. There's a whole range of functionality that's available in there, in addition to the standard Vita telecare and wearable functionality. It also acts as a wireless access point, so it can create within any scheme. If you had one of these in every one of the 30 apartments of the scheme, you're creating a wireless mesh across the scheme that can be used for free internet access and IoT connectivity. And again, it can facilitate all those community living functions such as notice board events, request to repair, call manager, warden, etc., etc. The Yorbl Amica wearables. Wearables are a rapidly increasing phenomenon. Long gone are the days of the big red button round grandma's neck. Wearables are becoming far more capable, far more connectable, and far more desirable. So we have a range of wearables. The starter for 10 is the Amica SOS. It's a Bluetooth connected with up to 75 meters very highly reliable connectivity. It will connect to Lifeline, Vita, Tab or Hub, single push for I'm OK, long push or double push for calling, sending out an SAS signal that is basically sent to the Lifeline, Vita, etc. device and onto the ARC from there. Fully rechargeable and IP66 related. I should point out here, because some of you who would be listening will be wondering where the standard 869 connectivity is. We strongly believe, and we're not alone in this belief, there's many others, innovators within the TECS industry, that 869 is a legacy solution. It was brought into place 15 or so years ago when the likes of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth were either not in existence, not available, or nowhere near robust. Standards haven't changed, regardless of the massive changes in technology. And we strongly believe that some of these standards are genuinely holding back innovation, holding back development, and therefore holding back the whole new range of services that can be delivered to you. So we've taken the decision to break free of that, and we would ask all purchasers and commissioners to remember that the standards are advisory, they're not law, and therefore when you're purchasing and when you're writing tenders, for example, you should perhaps look a little bit wider in terms of how you're going to word those tenders, not to just close out anything that's not 869 or not absolutely down the line with every single aspect of the various tech standards and British standards. Amica Go, this is a 4G mobile, 3G, 4G SIM-enabled SOS button, so it's completely mobile, rechargeable. It's got a long standby time. It's IP67 rated. It can be worn on a key, taken on a key ring, on a belt clip. It can be worn around somebody's neck if they really wanted to, and it comes with. There's also an optional stand and speaker base station, charger base station that it comes with as well. Amica Active is our lifestyle smartwatch with health and well-being functionality. So again, it's fully 3G, 4G enabled. So it's a full wearable. It doesn't connect directly to the Amica Lifeline, so the Yorbl Lifeline Vita, Tab or Hub. It connects directly to our Yorbl Cloud and the ARCs directly from the device via mobile. Full two-way calling integrated within it as well. So two-way calling from the ARC and Carer, full detection, heart rate, steps, everything you would expect, including GPS positioning from a state-of-the-art smartwatch. So going on from there, the sensor pack, as we said before this, as I said before, this is a rapidly growing range of sensors. So what you're seeing here will be completely different by the end of next week. But the basics are there. There's passive infrared sensors, So that monitor areas for movement, etc., etc. So we can pick up someone en route to the bathroom or the kitchen in the middle of the night, for example. Smoke detector does what it says on the tin, etc., but it's also a connected solution. Appliance monitors, so smart plugs, so we can monitor when grandma switches on the kettle in the morning, switches on TVs, heaters, etc., etc. And finally, Yorbl tags, where these are fantastic little sensors, about the size of a £2 coin. They can be stuck on virtually anything, on doors, windows, fridge doors, you name it, and these will sense movement. So any form of movement, they've got an accelerometer in there, so movement, opening of a door, opening of a window, any form of movement will be sensed. But they'll also sense the temperature, so you can monitor the environment and also with air humidity and air pressure. As I said, there's a whole range of other sensors that we are testing and looking at the moment. These include things like bed pressure sensors, floor pressure sensors, a whole range. Yorbl Analytics, as I said earlier, the data is a hugely important part of what we're producing here. This is so much more than being just about a dispersed alarm system. If you look at all those sensors, you look at all the solutions and products that I've just shown you, you only have to sit and imagine all of the activity, health and behavioural data that is being transmitted into our Yorbl cloud at any given time. We want to make that data understandable and accessible, which is why we're developing the analytics dashboard. We're developing it in Microsoft Azure Cloud. It will be fully accessible from any web browser, mobile or PC. It's going to be very intuitive and easy to use. They'll basically provide you with that very easy way to look at the numbers. So looking at, as you can see, the 30-day wellness review is just an example. How many times somebody's pressed the alarm button, and also boiling down to things like behavioural analytics in terms of how many times somebody got up in the night, how many times the front door opened, a whole range of data. You'll be able to look at the information, for example, over a 30-day period, or define a custom date range. You'll be able to export to CSV or PDF. You'll be able to look at this from an individual basis. So as you can see there, this is Janet Mandeville's data being looked at by the manager, Christopher Firth, I believe his name is. But you'll also be able to look at this right up to at all levels in terms of population levels. So across an entire screen, you'll be able to look at anonymized data. If you operate numerous telecare services across, for example, a range of supported living schemes, independent solutions, a whole range. You can literally look at the data across your whole estate, everything, or boil it right down to the individual. We're also looking at and talking with the NHS and other solution providers on how we can actually provide access to data feeds to assist in health and social services across the board. Where are we storing this and how are we operating it? We talked about the Microsoft Cloud we come to at the moment, but there's two sides of the things we do. One side is in terms of how we update and configure and monitor and manage the Lifeline and Vita solutions. This is all carried out in the AWS cloud. It enables us to it's completely interoperable, so it allows us to select best breed of hardware and know that as it says, it will work and can be easily supported. We've seen where there's been hardware bound, the whole industry has been hardware bound for decades, and this is something we're really keen to alleviate. We think it's an absolutely core issue. So you need to have the cloud systems that can actually manage and and facilitate that interoperability. All of our solutions will be deployed with what's known as zero-touch technology. That means as soon as the end user plugs the solution in and it connects to the network, all necessary configuration for that particular device and that particular user will be downloaded directly to it, making deployment by service providers just massively easier, more cost effective. It also means that we'll be able to deploy updates, enhancements to the system at the touch of a button, and they will go out across the air without any physical intervention whatsoever. So that's where we look after the management, the monitoring, the configuration of the hardware. The other side of things is the Yorbl Cloud in Microsoft Azure. This is where all of our sensitive users' data will be stored. Provides absolute certainty for us around and for everybody else around security, and that access is only provided to authorised people and services. So in the same way as you will only access or only be able to access certain types of data on your corporate PCs and corporate devices, it works exactly the same through. You're probably all using Microsoft Azure in those circumstances, so it will work exactly the same way. Working with Microsoft and their healthcare program, they look after the vast majority of the security for us. We don't have to worry about it. We also know that everything will be kept up to date in terms of that security and in terms of the things like GDPR solutions, GDPR requirements and various other compliances. So our relationship with Microsoft and the decision to develop everything we're developing on this side of things in the Microsoft Cloud was in all honesty, it was a bit of a no-brainer. It's the most secure and competent solution available at the moment. So that's the Yorbl Cloud. That's Yorbl. That's who we are, and what we're offering. And if you need any information, please don't hesitate to contact us. I'm sure we'll be contacting you to get your view of the webinar and look at obviously interest you may have in any of our products and services, and also any input you have that can help us improve what we're delivering to you. Well, thank you very much indeed for your time and for coming along, and hopefully see you at another one of these webinars soon. I'll say goodbye for now. Cheerio.